This podcast is about my journey of healing and inner growth. I'm not giving medical advice or suggesting anything that may not be legal where you live. Please do your own research and consult a professional. I'm simply sharing what's helped me along the way. Hey, my friends, it's Dr. Dave. Welcome back to Microdose U. Today's episode is going to be a little different. It might just be the one that opens the door for someone who's feeling stuck, because I want to ask you something. Here's the question. What's better, a gummy or a pill? And no, I'm not talking about candy versus vitamins. I'm talking about magic mushroom gummy versus a pharmaceutical antidepressant. Psilocybin versus SSRIs. The earth versus the pharmacy. One helps you feel again. The other often helps you feel nothing, or maybe a little bit. So let's get into it. For a long time, I believed that pharmaceuticals were definitely the way to go. I mean, as a dentist and someone who's trained in the medical system, I trusted everything I was taught. You're depressed? There's a pill for that. Anxious? Take this pill. Not sleeping? There's definitely a pill for that. Feeling too much, not feeling enough? Pill, pill, pill. At first, some of these actually might help, or at least they may seem like they help, but over time, you notice something deeper happening. You become less you. You may not be sad anymore, sure, but are you really happy? You become flat, foggy, functioning, but not really thriving. And let me be very clear here. I am absolutely not anti-pharmaceuticals. There are times in life when you're drowning, and a pharmaceutical is kind of like a life raft, and it may just keep you afloat. I totally get that. But maybe we should ask, what if there's a better way to heal and not just cope? So that's where psilocybin comes in. And again, I'm not talking about some wild trip or some big festival scene, but no, small, intentional, controlled doses. If you're here, you know it's called microdosing. A gummy, a chocolate, tea, maybe a capsule, just a little bit. And for the first time in a long time, you may feel something actually happening. Joy, wonder, sadness, but sadness even in a healthy way though. Emotions return, and sadness is not necessarily a bad thing. Life has texture again. And the thing is, the gummy doesn't numb you. It opens you. It opens you wide, wide. You're not checking out, you're checking in. Microdosing psilocybin for me and for so many others has become a practice of presence, of healing, of reconnecting with yourself. And I've seen it work again and again and again with people who were told they have to take pills forever. But in reality, they just needed a new path. So let's lay it out right here. Pharmaceutical pills like SSRIs often mute your emotional range, disrupt libido, disrupt sleep, disrupt digestion, and require long, careful tapering to get off of them. And sometimes they leave you asking, is this all there is? Now, mushroom gummies, on the other hand, encourage introspection, clarity, They don't flatten your spirit. They often actually amplify your intuition. Unlike what you may have read, they are not physically addictive. Absolutely not. And when they're used intentionally, they become part of a spiritual and emotional toolkit, not just a crutch. Now, are there risks in using psychedelics? Yeah, of course. They're not candy. So it's a sacred tool. But when done right, with intention and care, the transformation is real. If you're listening or watching right now and you've been handed a prescription and told this is your only option, I want you to know something. You're not broken, and your healing doesn't have to come from a plastic bottle with a childproof cap on it. Sometimes healing comes in the form of just a little gummy. I'm using that as a generic label for microdose when I say gummy, a microdose of psilocybin or maybe even LSD. That's just my generic little label for it. I think you understand what I'm saying. So, so what's better, a gummy or a pill? For me, the answer is clear. And for many of the people that I've worked with, it's changed their lives. And as always, I'm here to walk with you. If you want to explore this path, you're not alone. And yes, I do offer private one-on-one coaching. So I really hope this makes sense. Again, I ditched my SSRIs over 4 years ago, and absolutely no turning back. But again, check with your doctor. This is not medical advice, but I did it. It totally changed my life and the people that I've worked with and people that follow me. It's changed a lot of lives. Okay, now let's take a few questions from the mailbag. Lounge Wizard. Hi, Dr. Dave. If a microdose is 100 to 200 milligrams and the threshold dose of a full trip is 1 gram, then what's 500 milligrams? Is that kind of a zone of it's neither a microdose nor a trip? Hey, Lounge Wizard, great question. A lot of people say it's kind of like almost like a no man's land. Like it's either, if it's in between a full trip and in between a microdose, it's like a weird zone. I've never found that. 500 milligrams, upwards of maybe closer to a gram, is sometimes referred to as a museum dose. And what that means is it just makes you feel more alert, more in tune to what's going on around you. The colors are more vibrant, sharper, and you notice things perhaps that you've never noticed before. That's why they call it a museum dose. It's probably the perfect dose to go to a museum and look at all the whatever they have to offer at that type of museum, wherever you are. But it's kind of a cool dose, and if you've never tried in between a micro or like a full trippy dose, I would recommend it. It's definitely pretty good. Gabby Girl asks, I've worked my way up to 300 milligram capsules of penis envy. And for those of you that are watching and you're brand new to this, penis envy is just a type of a magic mushroom. It's like the shape of a penis, and that's why it's called penis envy. So again, we're not getting porn here or anything like that. 300 milligrams of penis envy with no improvement or motivation or depression. Do you have any suggestions? I really want to be a success story. Should I try a higher dose? Thanks for your help. Gabby girl, I am so sorry that 300 milligrams hasn't even really worked for you. That's a little bit unusual. However, not impossible. And there are some other things I just don't know enough about. So again, magic mushrooms are not the kind of thing we just like I'll pop a capsule, go about our lives, and everything's totally fine. There are a lot of things that we recommend doing alongside of the magic mushrooms. One of my favorites is journaling. I mean, I always carry my journal. I don't have it right here in my studio with me. That's unusual because I usually do, but I always carry a journal. I always am thinking and making notes, and a lot of the times the notes are what I'm doing and what I'm feeling, how I can improve my life. But there are a lot of things, and also want to make sure there are just so many things. Getting medically checked, if you're getting enough sleep, if you don't have inflammation in your body. There are just so many different things. But yeah, also, but having said that, if 300 is just not touching it, you certainly could go a little bit higher and just see what happens. Because again, everybody's different. And for some, 50 milligrams feels really, really strong. And for others, two or 300 doesn't feel like anything. So yeah, you could certainly experiment and go a little bit higher. You're still at a microdose. And even if you go a little bit higher than a microdose, it's still totally fine. And if you get to the point where you just don't know what to do and nothing's working, again, remember, we do offer one-on-one consulting and coaching. So you can go on my website, microdoseu.com. There should be a tab on the menu bar that says personal guidance or something. It's something like that. It's close enough. You'll see it. Guidance or personal guidance. We can help you out one-on-one. A lot of people do that. They just are not getting the results that they want, or they just need some extra hand holding, and it's totally confidential one-on-one coaching and consulting. We could help you with that. Gabby girl, I wish you luck. I want this to work for you. Ryan says, Ryan asks, I should say, Ryan, does all psilocybin do the same thing? I just started microdosing with a strain called APE, APE, and it's supposed to be one of the strongest. Well, coincidentally, we have another, APE stands for albino penis envy, and that's actually a pretty strong strain. So, again, you can try different strains. The thing they have in common is they all contain psilocybin. The only difference is they contain psilocybin at varying strengths. So you have to experiment a little bit. But with APE, APE, or albino penis envy, generally, not always, but generally, your microdose is going to be a little bit less just because it's so strong. So it would not be unusual to have like just a 100 milligram or 150 milligram dose of APE, of APE, albino penis envy, just because it is a strong strain. But again, experiment, try different strains, try different dosages, and do the work alongside of it. And Ryan, also, if you need help, if you're not sure, again, we do offer guidance. Go to my website, check it out. Love to be able to help you one-on-one if that's what you're looking for. So those are great questions. Keep them coming in. Thanks for joining me today. If you got something out of this episode, share it with someone you love. Brand new episode every Wednesday. If you like what you're hearing or seeing, like, share, and subscribe. Check the show notes for some great resources, especially our free 5-part course on microdosing for beginners. Totally free, comes to your email. It's a great place to start for sure. Also, we're now doing live meetings on Patreon, which are unbelievable. And we discuss the things that are not discussed anywhere else. So please follow the link in the show notes or on the website. Join us on Patreon, become a member, and you be involved in the live streams. We're like a really nice, close-knit little family there, and we share everything, and it's all totally confidential. So if you are interested, join us there. And also, I recently spoke about how I microdosed some cannabis and what that did for me. It's an episode you don't want to miss. And if you want to check it out, I'm pointing to it right here on YouTube. And for those of you listening on Apple and Spotify, I'll definitely put it in the show notes for you. And as always, stay curious, stay open, keep walking this healing path, just one microdose at a time. That's all you need to do. I'm Dr. Dave. This is Microdose U. I do love you.